Boris is in bed. The alarm went off at 7, then 7:09, then 7:18. He eventually killed it, the way you kill a spider, with unnecessary force and quiet hatred. Then negotiated 5 more minutes with himself. That was 3 hours ago. He crawls to the kitchen and pours what he calls coffee number 1. Technically number 5 if you count last night. His older brother appears in the doorway. "Boris, you look like a man who slept 9 hours and feels like 2. My head hurts. My hands don't work." "Those aren't symptoms, Boris. That's your baseline. Sit down. I'm going to tell you some things." Here's what his brother said.
Sleep is when your body does everything. Testosterone production, muscle repair, memory consolidation, all of it happening while you lie there looking useless. You don't decide how much sleep you need. Biology already decided. The number is 7 to 9 hours. Not in bed, asleep. One bad night drops your cognitive function to the level of someone who hasn't slept in 24 hours. 2 weeks of sleeping 6 hours and you perform like you haven't slept at all. The terrifying part? You stop noticing. You adapt to feeling terrible the same way you adapted to the stairwell. You just expect it now. You think this is how life feels. It isn't. You've just never experienced what actually rested looks like. Boris considered this. Then he had more coffee, because he hadn't absorbed it yet.
Oppa, 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 oppa.
Same bedtime, same wake time, every day, weekends included. The body runs on a biological clock called the circadian rhythm, and it needs predictability the way a gopnik needs sunflower seeds. Constantly and without question. Change the time often enough and the clock breaks. A broken internal clock costs you the first 2 to 3 hours of every morning because your body doesn't know what phase it's in and spends the time figuring it out instead of letting you function. "I'll sleep in on the weekend" is a deal you make with yourself that biology doesn't honor. You cannot stockpile sleep like canned fish. What you miss, you miss. What you shift, you pay for on Monday morning when your body still thinks it's Saturday. Wake up without an alarm, ideally. If you need one, treat it as a backup. If your alarm is the only thing getting you out of bed, you're going to bed too late. Fix the bedtime, and the wake time will anchor everything else. Pick a wake time. Keep it. This is the single most important thing on this list. Everything else is decoration around a stable schedule.
Oppa, 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 oppa.
Your bedroom is a sleep chamber, not a cinema, not a phone room, not a place to eat pelmeni and think about your problems. One thing happens here. Temperature. Keep it between 16 and 20 degrees Celsius. To fall asleep, your core body temperature needs to drop by about 1 degree, and a warm room fights this, while a cold one assists it. If you've ever slept unbelievably well in a hotel with an aggressively cold air conditioner, now you know why. Total darkness. No street light bleeding through the curtain, no standby light from the TV, no phone screen facing the ceiling. Your eyelids are not blackout curtains. Light reaches your photoreceptors through them and tells your brain, "Not night." Use blackout curtains or a sleep mask. Boris chose the curtains because the mask made him feel like he was in witness protection. Silence. Your brain processes sound even while you sleep. You don't always wake up, but the depth of sleep drops. You get the hours without the recovery. Your neighbor's television, the pipes, the street noise. All of it steals from you quietly, and you never notice because you were asleep for it. Buy foam earplugs in bulk. The neighbor is not going to change. You are. Heavy blanket. Optional, but worth trying. The gentle pressure has immeasurable calming effect on the nervous system. It signals safety.
Oppa, 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 oppa.
Sleep doesn't start when you close your eyes. It starts 3 hours before that. What you do in those hours decides what the night looks like. Most people spend them actively destroying their sleep without knowing it. Boris spent them actively destroying his sleep while knowing it, which is somehow worse. Caffeine. Nothing after 3 p.m. Caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours, which means the espresso at 6 p.m. is still half working at midnight. It doesn't just make it harder to fall asleep, it suppresses deep sleep even after you're out. You sleep 8 hours, wake up feeling like 4, pour more coffee, and the cycle continues. Alcohol. Alcohol suppresses REM sleep, the deep restorative stage, for the entire night. You stay unconscious, but the recovery is mostly absent. You wake up tired, drink coffee to compensate, drink alcohol to wind down, tell yourself this is a routine. It isn't. It's a debt you pay every morning and can't explain. Boris did not like this part of the conversation. Food. Nothing 4 to 5 hours before bed. Digestion raises your core temperature, raises your heart rate, raises insulin, everything that signals your body it's still active and not ready to sleep. Stop drinking water 2 hours before bed too. Unglamorous advice, but waking up at 3 a.m. for the bathroom, even if you fall back asleep in minutes, breaks your sleep cycle. Exercise. No intense training 2 to 3 hours before bed. A real workout spikes cortisol, raises your core temperature, and puts your nervous system on high alert. And it needs time to wind down from that. Strength training belongs in the morning or afternoon. In the evening, a walk is fine.
Screens. The blue light from phones and laptops suppresses melatonin, the hormone that makes you sleepy, by mimicking noon daylight. Your brain believes this because your brain is trusting and you keep lying to it. Put the phone away at least an hour before bed. The simplest version, phone on silent, face down, across the room. Warm shower. When you step out of a warm shower, your skin releases heat rapidly and your core temperature drops. That drop is one of the signals your body uses to initiate sleep.
Wind down. Your nervous system cannot go from full speed to 0. It needs a runway. No arguments, no action films, no doom scrolling, no stressful conversations. Read something. Sit quietly. Journal if that's your thing. It works, just don't discuss it in the stairwell. Give your brain 15 minutes to move from problems to solve to problems that will still be there tomorrow. Magnesium. Most people are deficient and don't know it. It's involved in over 300 processes in the body, including sleep regulation. Magnesium citrate or glycinate, 300 to 400 milligrams before bed, relaxes muscles, lowers cortisol, and helps you reach deeper sleep faster.
Opa, 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 opa.
Nobody talks about this. It matters more than the mattress. Mouth breathing during sleep is a problem. You pull in less oxygen, you snore more, and your sleep cycles fragment. Your nose is built for this job. It filters, humidifies, and regulates airflow in a way your mouth can't. Your mouth is for eating and saying things you regret, not for breathing at night. Nasal strips. Stick one on the bridge of your nose before bed. They widen the nasal passage, reduce resistance, and make nasal breathing easier. They cost almost nothing. They look ridiculous, and they work. Buy them, feel embarrassed buying them, sleep better. Mouth tape or jaw guard. If you consistently wake up with a dry mouth, if people have mentioned the snoring, if you feel unrefreshed despite long nights, you are mouth breathing. A strip of surgical tape across the lips before bed. You are not suffocating, Boris. You are learning to breathe correctly after years of doing it wrong. Sleep position. Back is best. Spine neutral, airway open, nothing compressed. Side works too. Never on your stomach. It twists your neck, compresses your lungs, and puts pressure on everything. You still wake up feeling like you lost a drachka you weren't even part of.
Opa, opa, opa.
Sleep doesn't end when you open your eyes. What you do in the first 15 minutes sets the clock for the next 24 hours. Get into natural light. Sunlight, even through clouds, resets your circadian rhythm. It triggers cortisol to rise naturally, tells your body the day has started, and begins the countdown to when you'll feel sleepy again that night. 15 to 30 minutes. Every morning, same time.
This is the other side of the schedule. You cannot fix your evenings without fixing your mornings. Morning light is what makes evening darkness effective. They're linked. Skip one and you've weakened the other. If your schedule is right and your sleep is deep enough, your body will eventually start waking itself up near your target time without an alarm. If you're sleeping through it every day, you're either going to bed too late or not sleeping deeply enough. The alarm is a symptom. Fix the cause.
Boris did all of it. Got earplugs, blackout curtains, stopped eating at 7 p.m. and quit coffee after 2:30, like a man who had finally decided to mean it. He taped his mouth shut before bed and looked briefly like a man being relocated somewhere against his will, but slept like someone who hadn't wronged anyone. 3 weeks later, his alarm went off at 7. His eyes opened at 6:58. Boris is one step closer to taking back control of the neighborhood.